Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about some pretty exciting, huge news regarding the Rick Grimes movies and Fear the Walking Dead also, relating to Rick Grimes, and a lot of interesting things because I was watching the After the Dead show, which is the show, the kind of like a talk show that Brandon Davids from comicbook.com does every single week after every Sunday after the episode, and they were answering some fan questions, and he was giving us a lot of good information about the Rick Grimes movies and all that kind of stuff. So I want to discuss that in this video today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started right away.
Maybe not in the first of the three Rick Grimes movies, but we will see other Walking Dead characters or Fear the Walking Dead characters pop into those movies.
Alright, so I just quickly played that clip of Brendan Davis saying that maybe not in the first movie, but we will see other characters popping in the Rick Grimes movies, which is super awesome to hear. I want to take it as a confirmation because he is an insider. He works for comicbook.com. They get to know stuff way before us. He also said that, that they're going to be taking Rick to the Northeast. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. But he knows this shit. Like, he knows what he's talking about. Comicbook.com knows people who work for the show. So I'm going to take it as a confirmation, which is just super awesome to hear. After he said that, though, the woman interviewing him said that somebody asked, like, is it possible for Madison Clark to show up in the Rick Grimes movies? And, he said that he doesn't know about that because it's way too early to tell. But I want to talk about that for a second and let me know what you guys think about that. Because, with Madison, a lot of people still think she's alive out there. And if they bring back Madison, I wouldn't be, like, shocked or surprised, because I've said this before in previous videos. With The Walking Dead, I feel like we have to see the character die or else they could come back. Like, Morales came back. Same thing with Glenn when he fell underneath the dumpster. There's a lot of, like, we need to have, like, evidence, real solid evidence for them to, and it's not just because, we're in denial. I think it's because The Walking Dead has done that before, and a little bit of denial, I'm not gonna lie, but The Walking Dead has brought back characters in the past that we thought of have died. But then when we look back, we think, oh, we didn't really see them die. So, that makes sense. They're bringing back Troy, speaking of this. They're bringing back Troy in season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead. We don't know if it's a flashback or he's coming back as a character. But if he comes back as a character, I'm going to believe it. Because, yeah, Madison hit him in the head with a rock. But I think with The Walking Dead, though, we need to see characters turn into walkers for there to be like 100% proof. I don't know. That's just me. But I have a feeling that Troy is going to be back, as alive. I just have this feeling he will. But hopefully we learn more about that. But let me know in the comments down below if you think Madison would somehow show up in the Rick movies. I think it would be pretty cool. Those are two characters that I would love to meet. It does suck, though, that both of them technically aren't in the universe anymore. I mean, they are, but not on the main shows right now. But it would be really cool, and those are two characters I would love to meet because they are so alike.
If you're interested in Rick's story, you will be interested in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. Ooh. Rick is not on Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 that I know of.
Okay.
But there are elements to the upcoming season of Fear the Walking Dead which you will enjoy, and they're going to make the universe a little bit smaller.
Suddenly, I'm very, very interested in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. That's, I don't know, what does he mean by that? If you're interested in a Rick story, you're going to be interested in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, and, he said it's going to make the world smaller. My best guess for that is that we're going to see another helicopter, which I want another character to see a helicopter. And I think showing the characters on Fear the Walking Dead seeing a helicopter would make sense because they don't have immediate access to the people back in Alexandria and them. But I feel like if somebody in Alexandria saw the helicopter, they'll click with Rick and be like, oh shit, and then Gabriel will be like, oh shit, everyone's gonna be like, oh, Rick is alive possibly. But maybe they don't want to do that right now because they're dealing with the Whisper. So I feel like if they want to make this world smaller, I think that first step would be showing a helicopter on Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. That's my best guess because, like he said, he doesn't think, Rick is not going to show up in Fear the Walking Dead. But I think showing a helicopter would definitely, and possibly even the same helicopter with that same little symbol that the helicopter had. I think, yeah, that would be really, really cool, I think, and it would make the world smaller. And going back to him saying characters are going to be popping up in the Rick Grimes movies, Morgan. I mean, he's my Michonne is my number one on my list to meet, to reunite with Rick. But I want to see Morgan and Rick reunite, like really, really bad. I mean, Imagine how crazy that would be if Rick and Morgan reunite, because they've been there. They literally started The Walking Dead in episode 1 of season 1. So if those two characters don't reunite, I'm gonna be very sad. I really want those two characters to reunite. And then they also asked him if the Rick Grimes movies will be in theaters. I think it would be really cool if they're in theaters. In the video, he said it could be like a one-day release, like it did with episode 100, and then the Morgan crossover, that big Walking Dead night. I think I want to see. I would love to see a Rick Grimes movies in theaters, but I think it should be more than a one-day release. That's just my opinion. I think maybe just maybe a week. I think that would be really cool, because they did say in interviews that their scope of these movies are gonna be like a full-length feature. That hopefully that means a good budget, and a really good budget. I mean, that can make it seem like a real movie. And if they release that in theaters, that'll be killer. I would love that. So they also asked him if they think Daryl will look after Michonne's kids when she goes after Rick, because I think that's what or when she leaves, not goes after Rick. But we're gonna assume that she's gonna go after Rick, because we know that Denai Guerrera is leaving the show in season 10. But they did say they're going to make it work, or they're trying to figure it out so she would end up in Rick's movies. And Brandon Davis said that he thinks that Michonne is going to take the kids with her. Like, there's no way Michonne would leave the kids there. I totally get where he's coming from, but I disagree a little bit there, because I don't see Michonne bringing her kids to just like a random community that she knows nothing about. The way I see it playing out in my head, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments, because I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think Michonne is going to take her kids when she goes off, looking for Rick or whatever? I think I think the only way that's going to work is if she somehow sees a helicopter again, because she's not going to go, walking to find Rick, because they said that it's going to be in the northeast section of the U.S. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I know I said that in the beginning of the video, but I'll get to that in a second. But if the Rick Grimes movies are in the northeast section of the U.S., I feel like the only way they would ever find that out is if Jadis comes back into the picture and tells them about it. And then Michonne would be like, you know what, I'm going to go see Rick. And yeah, maybe Judith and RJ want to go see Rick too, but I feel like the only reason that's happening is because Denai Guerrera is leaving the show. So do they also want to, have Judith and RJ leave the show, especially Judith, who's doing really, really good so far? I don't really see, maybe RJ. And again, those are just my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear from you. Brandon Davis, he has insight on the show, so he probably knows more than me. He could totally be right about that. Maybe they are planning Michonne taking her kids with her. But my preference is for at least Judith to stay back, because I think she's a great supporting character on the show so far. She's been doing really good with all the scenes she's had. And I think it would be pretty cool if she stays. Now, when it comes to the Northeast stuff, they did say he said the first movie is going to be picking up pretty much immediately where episode 5 left off in the helicopter, and they're going to be. He said the last he heard is that they're planning on taking Rick to the Northeast. So that being said, let me know what city or what state you want him to go to, or what city or state do you think he is going to go to. The first thing that jumps at me, if they're planning these movies to be a big, feature-length budget feel, is New York. Imagine Rick Grimes in New York. That would be amazing. You could also have, just imagine New York all worn down. We've seen Washington. I think it'll be really cool to see New York also. I want to, like the Statue of Liberty all worn down, and, just the whole place decayed. I think that would definitely add so much to the show, or so much to the movies, because it would just make it seem like a realistic zombie apocalypse, and like a movie type zombie apocalypse, and that's what they're aiming for. So I would love to see Rick in New York. Also with New York, it's such a big city. I could definitely see like a military base there, and helicopters, and just like a huge community of people. And I feel like with these movies we might get our first step at a cure or something, because with Jadis, they wanted people who were bitten or not, or like, dead or something. So there's definitely experiments going on. And yeah, Jadis took Rick to save his life, but we all know that's not going to end up well, because as soon as Rick wakes up, I'm sure he wants to get back to, his family. There's no reason why he would stay there with a bunch of strangers, even if they were finding a cure. He would go find his family and then come back. That's like a Rick type of thing to do. But they're obviously not going to let him leave, because I'm sure these people are not going to be good people. I'm sure they're going to. I mean, not good people to us though. Like in their point of view, maybe yeah, they're good people. They want to find a cure, but you know we're rooting for Rick and we want him to get back to his family, and they probably are gonna not let that happen because maybe they want to experiment on Rick or something. We're gonna have to wait and see. But let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts and opinions about this, and you know, where do you think Rick is gonna go? They did say northeast, so somewhere around there for sure. And let me know what your thoughts on, you know, the whole thing when Brandon said that if you're interested in a Rick story, you're gonna be interested in Fear the Walking Dead. To me, that was some big news because now I'm very, very excited for season 5 of Fear. I think it's gonna be the helicopter connection with that same symbol because that would definitely make the universe smaller. And then also that would completely break the fan base, I think. I can't wait for it. But all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.